Yo, what is up, everybody? It's your boy Agius, aka Static Shock. Welcome back to another episode of For Life Means the Podcast, a podcast of encouragement, perspective, and life. I am so excited for this episode, just like I am every single episode. I mean, there's not a single episode that I'm not excited for. Not a single one. But I am very excited for this episode because this is going to be kind of, I'm aiming to have an episode for all Fridays of December. And so this is kind of the first one. So I'm very excited to just really get to the grind and really do it, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, I'm very excited. But before I get into the topic of this episode, I just want to say real quick, thank you for tuning in. That's the first thing. Thank you for tuning in. And also, if you have the time, which I know you do. I mean, you're watching this podcast, so of course you have the time. But if you have the time, wherever you're watching this or wherever you're listening to it, please like it, please subscribe, please, and most importantly, please share this. Whenever you share the podcast, that's the only way that it's gonna grow. Or when you comment also and when you like it, but mainly when you share it. So please share it with your folks, with your friends, with your acquaintances, and specifically for this one, people that are jealous of you, or maybe even people that you're jealous of, because that's what we're gonna be talking about today. We're gonna be talking about jealousy. And it's probably going to be a short one. It might be a long one. Well, I mean, we'll see, right? But so make sure we're not going to actually be in our Bibles, which I know, I'm changing stuff a little bit. But we always going to have our coffee. Today, I actually got some coffee. Usually have some water, but today I got some coffee. So I'm feeling pretty good. Let's get a little ASMR. Yeah. You hear it. But yeah, we're going to be talking about jealousy today. So, let's cut to the music. Man. I love me some coffee, man. I love me some coffee. I love water too, but coffee just does something different to you, boy. It just does something different to you, boy. But anyways, let's go ahead and get to this episode. So today, I want to talk just real quick about jealousy. And let me just tell you, the reason why I'm talking about jealousy today is because earlier this week, first of all, as most of you guys know, I'm an artist. I make music. I also do the podcast. I also have my own merch. But specifically for the music, Spotify has this thing called Spotify Wrapped, where they send all the artists, they show all the artists like their stats of the year, and they show how many listeners you had, how many plays you had, how many playlists you were on, and all the countries that were listening to your music. They have all these stats, and generally around this time, all the artists are posting it on their socials and stuff. And so what happens is you see all these numbers that all the artists are having, all the achievements that they're achieving. And what a lot of times what can come out of that is a lot of comparison. Lots and lots of comparison. And I'll be honest, I'll start with myself. I've been making music for a while, and so after you make music for a while, you start to expect certain numbers. And I realize I have grown a lot. It shows you percentages that your streams have grown and your playlist ads have grown and blah blah blah. It shows you all these things, and I had really good numbers. But what I started to do was I started to compare my numbers to everybody else, and I'm like, whoa, I'm not really doing anything. And so what happens out of that is that what happened out of me is I started comparing myself to other people. And what comparison does is it leads to jealousy. Ooh, comparison, it leads to jealousy. And jealousy is one bad, you know what it is. It is one bad Mamma-Jamma. Comparison is one bad Mamma-Jamma. You do not want to mess with no jealousy. That jealousy will get you out of here, boy. It'll get you out of here, man. So yeah, I started to like looking at other people's numbers. And I'm like, man, I wish I had these people's numbers. I wish I had what they were doing, blah, blah, blah. And I know for a fact that I am not the only artist that is doing that. Matter of fact, I am not the only person in the world who is comparing my stats, my stature, my even money, like the things that people be bragging about, blah, blah, blah. I know that I am not the only person in the world that sometimes gets jealous, sometimes compares myself to other people, to what other people have. And so this episode, jealousy is very relatable to a lot of people. And I know, everyone at one point has gotten jealous. I know everyone at one point has gotten jealous. And so I know I'm not the only one. And don't you even act like I'm the only one. Don't you even act. I know some of y'all be getting jealous, bro. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, let me get some coffee real quick. Get off y'all head real quick. That's some good stuff. So yeah, jealousy. So comparison will lead to jealousy. Now, jealousy, like I said, jealousy is one bad Mamma-Jamma. You do not want to mess with no jealousy, because jealousy will drain you, man. So let me just talk about real quick how we become jealous. And this is just my viewpoint on how I think that jealousy springs about. So the Bible says that you're supposed to run your own race. And so what that mainly means is that you have a race that is set before you, and that is your race. That is your race. That is the only thing you should be focusing on. Now, I said comparison leads to jealousy. So you're running your own race. There's no outside distractions there's nothing that should be distracting you. You should be right there in line with what God has for you. But what happens is we start to, someone over there to my right is starting to make some noise, starting to catch up or whatever, or is ahead of me. And I start looking over to what they got. And I'm like, bruh, I wish I had that. I wish I had that. Comparison. And so what starts to happen is, man, you're like, I want that. I want that. Like, I need that. I wish I had that. And you start getting jealous. And you're like, bro, that person doesn't even deserve that. That person doesn't even deserve that, bro. And so, because you started paying attention to what was happening beside you, you started getting jealous of what that other person have. And like I said, I continue to say this: whenever you're not patient, whenever I wasn't patient with my life, I started contemplating doing things that were outside of my character. So that's just patience. But also when you start to get jealous, you also start doing things that are outside of your character, that are outside of your will, that are outside of God's will for your life. Okay? Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. So whenever you start getting jealous, you start doing things that you're not even supposed to be doing. You're not even supposed to be doing. That person, like, bro, you're supposed to be right here. You're supposed to be right here. But now you started to go like, I think I kind of want this. Like, this thing over here is looking like, this race was cool. This race, it was sunny, you know what I'm saying? There was clear skies, you know what I'm saying? It was like 70 degrees. But when you start going over here, it starts getting freezing cold. It starts getting past the hundreds, because this is not your race. This is not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be right here. And you know what I'm saying? You start going over here because you're jealous, and you start, and there's nothing over there for you. There's nothing that's over there for you. You're supposed to be right here, bro. Come on, bro. You're supposed to be right here. There's nothing for you over there. And so we start focusing, we start looking at what other people's races and see how their race, and you're like, man, I'm gonna go ahead and do what they go do. And that's, comparison, it leads to jealousy, man. It leads to jealousy. We get so caught up in the things that we don't have that we start trying to get those things that we don't have, and those things aren't even for us. We finally get it, and we're like, bro, this kind of sucks. Like I thought it was gonna be way more than this. I thought it was gonna be way more than I really did not even need this. And you realize you wasted so much time, bro. You wasted so much time trying to get that other thing. You wasted so much time, bro. Your purpose, this is your purpose right here. What they doing over there, that's their purpose. That is their purpose. Your purpose is right here, bro. Your purpose is right here. Like, it's a thin line, bro. It's a thin line. Ain't no exits. There ain't no exits unless you forcing them. Oh, that's tough. Oh, that's tough. That's tough. And so, man, I honestly, bro, we could end the podcast right there. But I could go a little bit more. I could say a little bit more. So I was listening to this podcast by Propaganda, is a rapper, and his wife, Dr. Alma, I think that's her name. And they were talking about how sometimes they be fighting, but whenever they fight well. And so what that means is, to me, at least what it means is they respect each other and they're trying to figure out the root problem. And that's fighting well. And a lot of times fighting has a negative connotation. The Bible says to fight the good fight. And when you're talking about fight in the Bible, it's not talking about, fight the good fight as in like go beat somebody up. No, it's saying that this faith is going to be a fight, and it's a good fight to fight. It's worthy of your time. It's worthy of your what's the word? Of your focus. It's worthy of your focus. And so I feel like comparison is kind of the same way, because you can definitely compare yourself to other people, but in a way that's actually like fulfilling. Because what most people do is they compare and they seek out those things that those other people have. But you can also compare to see, to understand like how they got there. How they got there is comparing well. How they got there, but not actually like doing the things but still staying in line with what God has you to do, but also, taking some pointers is what I'm trying to say. Taking some notes, taking some pointers from what those other people did, not so much to get what they have, but because sometimes even those things that those other people have, sometimes those things are that God has for you too. And so that's why you have to compare well. You have to know if you know your purpose, this makes everything so easy. If you know your purpose, it makes it so easy, bro. And so that's why we always have to seek out our purpose. But this podcast is not about purpose. Not this episode, at least. Have I talked about purpose before? I don't know. But anyways, we have to compare well. This is a book that I read a while ago. It's called How to Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon. I think that's how you say his last name. But yeah, How to Steal Like an Artist. And the gist, I don't remember the book fully, but the gist of the book is how you can take from other artists and kind of be unique in yourself. Taking little things from certain artists and because like most people when they start making music, they're like modeling after a certain artist. And they definitely get the flack for sounding like that artist. But what's cool about a lot of things is that you can just take little notes from little things. Like I follow Kev on Stage, and he's a comedian. He's a comedian. He's a movie director. He does media stuff. But I still, even though I make music and I do the podcast, I still be taking like little nuggets from what he does. Because it'd be helpful to me, not because I'm jealous, not because it's going to lead to jealousy, but because it's helpful for me. So you have to learn how to compare well to where it's not having a negative impact on your life. Because what jealousy does is it will drain you, bro. It will drain you, like emotionally, physically. It will make you tired, man. That negative comparison can lead to jealousy. that jealousy. What else? What can jealousy lead you to? Jealousy can lead you to being crazy. I'm just kidding. But all that jealousy, man, that can lead you to anger. That anger can lead you to bitterness. That bitterness can lead you to resentment, and that resentment can lead you to just pummeling your life to the ground. Like real talk. That it's a straight, like, if you continue going down that road, man, it's just not a good look. It's just really not a good look, and I don't want that for any of y'all that's listening. I do not want that for any of y'all. So, hey, look, compare yourself well. Okay? Compare yourself well. Make sure you're focusing on what God has for you and not what God has for those other people. But it's okay to take notes, to jot down little notes. But don't be jealous of what they have. Because what they have, they might even not like what they have. They might hate it. It might be the worst thing in the world, but they have it. They have it. There's millionaires that are depressed, bro. And people fighting for their life to get where they got. And a lot of those people are depressed, bro. So, stay right here. If you're watching the video, stay right here, bro. If you're not watching the video, I'm drawing a straight line. Stay right here. This right here is your purpose. Don't be going over here, bro. Don't be going over here. Stay right here. Okay? All right. Good pep talk. So yeah, that's the end of the episode. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. I pray that this was helpful. I pray this was encouraging. I pray that this brought life to your life, because that's what this podcast is all about. This podcast is for life, and the means of what it comes about. Ooh, that's tough. That's tough. That's tough. Anyways, I love you all. Go out there and compare yourself well. Study to show yourself approved. That's just an extra nugget. But yeah, I love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful night. Wherever you listen to this, please share, because that's how the podcast grows. And also check out the website. We're gonna have some new merch and a new song coming very soon. Actually, I could announce it right here. December 18th, there's gonna be a new song and some new merch that's coming. Celebrating the 1-year anniversary of my project called Omni. So be on the lookout for that. But that is about all I have today. Enjoy your day. Love you. And peace out.